via Facebook streaming, YouTube streaming, and also via Skype. Each one of you is welcome to this live streaming from our studios in Trinidad. Sutras of Vigyan Bhairav Tantra, life beyond duality, life beyond conflict. Tantra is not what we understand. The word God is not God, or what we understand as God. Religion is not what we understand. I have heard in a school the children were talking among themselves, and each one of said, "My mother is the best mother in the whole wide world. My mother is the best mother in whole wide world." Every child said the same thing, and they started quarreling among themselves that my mother, not your mother, is the best mother in the whole wide world. All of them were quarreling. This is children, but our grown-up people, our religious preceptors, their consciousness is not more than of a child. Everyone says my religion is the best. My God is the only God, and the way of my religion is the only religion to attain to salvation. Nothing else. Truth is one, but it can be spoken in different ways. Water is one, its chemical configuration is one, irrespective of where you get the water from, which country, whether from the well or river or rainwater. It has only one chemical composition and one quality, that it moistens not an iron but that which is vulnerable. Master speaks one truth only to the one who is ready for it, who is vulnerable to it. Just as water moistens anything that is ready for it. Tantra is not the sexual orgy. It is a way of understanding. It is a way of transcendence. There is energy. For the purpose of energy, it is divided into two poles, positive and negative. And when these two unite together, there is illumination. Man and or woman comes into life through the interaction of ovum and sperm, the two separate energies, ovum and sperm. When they merge together, they interact with one another. Something new is born, comes into existence, that is life. then these two remains within you. Tantra is not condemnation against anything, because anything you condemn cannot transform you. It creates a hypocrisy, it creates division, and so many things. Then everything gets divided into good and bad, right and wrong. As I have mentioned, if you want to reach somewhere, you need 2 feet. You cannot walk on 1 feet. 1 foot moves, the other remains stationary. Then the next foot moves forward and the first one becomes stationary. But when you reach the distance, the destination where you have to reach, both feet becomes stationary. They have served their purpose. The positive and negative current is flowing constantly in the electrical wire. When something comes in between that harmonizes the quality of the two bulb, it has a filament connecting the two terminals, the positive and the negative. The flow of the current from one to the another completes, and in that very process the two energies are dissolved into one another. This is the state of orgasm in tantric language. When everything dissolves, there is oneness. That state of oneness is the state of orgasm. When all conflicts, all disturbances vanish, we come to oneness. That oneness is nothing else but cosmic orgasm. God is the cosmic orgasm that everyone has to attain. Truth is cosmic orgasm. Your truth is not separate from my truth. Truth is one. You can express it in different ways. You can call water by different names. You can get many uses of it. Water can be used in many different ways. You can offer it on to a plant. You can use to wash your clothes, to cook your food, to quench your thirst. These are the uses of water, but its quality remains one and the same. It never changes. If we understand this, then we are in cosmic orgasm. The purpose of a spiritual understanding is to attain to this. When male and female interact with one another in a certain manner, the two energies merge into one another. There is oneness. That's the time, for the first time, you experience the dissolution. The male and female dissolve into one another. Then there comes the state of samadhi, oneness, godliness. That is orgasm. The very purpose is how to attain to that cosmic orgasm through whatsoever you are doing. You are making a cup of tea. Many ingredients are there. The water, it has the capacity to dissolve everything. You cannot take anything else that is not fluid. Like water means fluid, that is flowing, that has the quality to absorb, that is capable of absorbing the different qualities in it. Such is the human being, a disciple, who is capable of absorbing the qualities and attain to a different texture. Water, but it requires a certain temperature. When it is frozen, it does not do anything. It creates a mess. And when the ice melts, it follows a certain path, and water dries, the passage remains there. When you throw another some water, it will follow the same pattern. This is how the human energy, human life moves. The energy constantly moves in one way, flows downward and downward one way. It becomes anger, it becomes frustration, it becomes lust. In order to change it, it has to evaporate, and the heat is necessary. The heat can be of love, heat can be of care, heat can be of concern. When you go in the company of the Master, his love becomes, you feel the warmth of his love, of his care, of his concern, and then it begins to evaporate. Its direction changes. It becomes the water that was flowing downward, like your sexual energy. When there is warmth of love, understanding, it begins to evaporate. When it begins to evaporate, it disappears. It is no more seen. It becomes the part of the cosmos. And that is the cosmic oneness, that is orgasm. This we have to understand. If we want to live a life of bliss, we have to go beyond the conflict, beyond the duality. And that is the only way. Everything exists as oneness. In the beginning there was light. Now, when electricity was developed, it was developed as an energy. Then many uses of it were discovered according to the needs of the mankind. Various electrical appliances developed. If you want to grind something, you cannot go to the stove, because a stove is not capable of grinding something. Grinding is one purpose. If you need to get the warmth in winter, you do not go to the grinder, you go to the heater. So on and so forth. Each specific instrument, appliance, is made to manifest one quality of it. You cannot say that I will not need all these. This is normal. This we all understand, that in the house we need a fan, we need an air conditioner. If it is a cold country, we need a central heating system. We need an electric stove. We need a pressure wash. We need a vacuum cleaner. We need a grinder. We need a toaster oven. So on and so forth. Why is all that necessary? Let there be only one. No. These are the different manifestations of one. Lao Tse says, Tao, the word Tao is not Tao. When it manifests 1,001 things, attributes. We have to understand, we have to go into that. This we have to understand. There are two things that you can do. You can create out of for hypocrisy, you can create a false face and pretend to be something that you are not. That will save you. Your unreal becomes the part which is more dominant, and the real recedes back into the womb. Child is born as one whole. That is why every child is beautiful. The beauty is not the physical. Beauty is always of the whole. Once there is wholeness, wholeness means you are not divided, there is no conflict, there is no right and wrong, there is no duality of any kind. That's why you are whole. And that is the beauty. There is no gap, no division, no split, no fragments. You are not living in fragments. As such as a man is, he lives in fragments. He has one face in front of a friend and another in front of an enemy, and so on and so forth. But the child, as he is in the presence of everyone. You look at, imagine a situation. A bandit enters your house. Everyone is afraid of him. They are running for their lives. And there is a child lying in the cradle, in his crib. He is innocent of the presence of the bandit. Bandit comes to the child. Seeing him, the child smiles. This because he is not afraid, he is one, and that may change the heart of the bandit even. So this is the beauty of the child, this is the beauty of wholeness. And when in case of the child this is unconscious, but in case of a man, in case of an awakened one, it is conscious. That's why the masters look very innocent. They have put on the garb of truth, innocent. It happened, there was the 16th president of India. He was a scientist, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. Very innocent, dedicated person. An incident came that the then Indian Prime Minister Indira Gandhi wanted to meet Kalam. So the director of the center, Dr. Satish Dhawan, told Kalam, look, the Prime Minister wants to meet you. He said, I am in the broken slippers, my clothes are ragged. Dhawan said, you have the garb of success, of your wisdom. No other garb is necessary. It is the garb of innocence, the garb of truth, the garb of understanding the awakened one wears. Nothing else. The child wears it out of innocence. Child is unaware of his nakedness, but Mahavir was aware, and yet still he was innocent. Lalla, who is also known as Lalla, to synonym with Allah, she remained after enlightenment naked. She said, whom should I be ashamed of? I have not seen a single man. It was also said about Meera. When she went to the city of Krishna, Vrindavan, there was a temple where the women folks were not allowed. Meera was a wave. She entered the temple. No one had dared to stop her. When she reached in front of the high priest, he said, "Oh woman, how you have entered the temple? In this temple, there is no woman is allowed to enter." So Meera said, "I have not seen any woman here. I have not seen any man. And there is only one man in this universe, and that is Krishna. If you consider your Krishna to be your competitor, then it's a different thing. You consider yourself to be a man. There is only one man, the oneness, that is Krishna." The high priest fell at the feet of Meera. There are many stories like this. Lalla's life was full of innocence, that of Mahavir, that of Buddha. When certain things, child begins to behave in unreal ways, because to be unreal becomes more and more, because to be real, to be natural, becomes more and more difficult. And this happens out of necessity. Remember, because the family has to regulate, the parents have to regulate, the child has to be civilized, educated, given manners, cultivated. It happened with Guru Nanak. His father sent him to a Maulvi to learn the language. Maulvi said, "Say Alif." Nanak said, "What is the meaning of Alif? What kind of question is this? Who is going to ask what is the meaning of A, B, or Alif, Be, Pe?" Each syllable has a meaning. The word Allah starts with Alif. It has a meaning, deep meaning in it. He asked, when he said, "Numbers now, 1, what is 1? And unless you tell me the meaning of the word, one letter, how do you expect me to move?" The Maulvi was in quandary, did not know how to respond to this. He told Nanak's father, Kalu Mehta, This child is invincible. I cannot teach him anything. He asks questions of which we do not have answers. Swami Vivekananda had this similar experience. When he was growing, there was a tree. I do not recall what was the tree on. The children used to play and climb on the tree, and the branches may break, and so Vivekananda's, that time his name was Narendranath Dutt. His father said, "Don't climb on the tree, there is a ghost lives it, and if any branch breaks, he will break your neck." So the children became afraid, and he did not climb. Vivekananda is still. So the children said, "Naren, don't climb that tree, the ghost will break your neck." He said, "Let me see how he can break my neck." In his office, Naren's father's office had, the smoke pipe, like the ancient people use, that is known as hookah. There is the tobacco is burned on top. Through the pipe capillary, the water was underneath. When you pull, there is the smoke passes through the water and goes inside. So he has this particular apparatus for smoking for different religious people. For Muslims was one, for a Hindu another one, for other sect of the people amongst the Hindus different. So one day, and it was said that the Muslim will use only that hookah, the Hindu Brahmin will use this, the different castes will use this. One day his father found that Naren was inhaling all the apparatus. His father said, "What are you doing this?" He said, "I am trying to figure out how my religion or religious thinking can change if I smoke from this or I drink in this cup." I recall very easily when the Maulvi Sahib used to come, the system, the spiritual awakening came into our family through the masters of the Islamic faith. So their descendants used to visit at their function, at the spiritual gathering, and we used to keep the separate wares for them. Although to me it was hypocrisy. So whenever I was given an opportunity to serve the food to him, it was said that we used those wares. I said, "No. If somebody eats in my wares, that does not change anything. Because even if you cook the meat or anything, that cooking pot is different, but serving pot is not different. They are the same." So slowly and slowly the child has to be cultivated, has to be given manners, otherwise it will be impossible for the child to be part of the society, he has to be told not to do this. And when we say do this, the child reality may not be ready to do this. It may not be real. There may not be any desire within the child to do that. And when we say don't do that, he may have intentions of doing that, as happened. It was admonished that not to use the smoking equipment meant for other people. We condemn the real and enforce the unreal, because unreal is going to help you in an unreal society. In an unreal, that is why the masters are considered to be a black sheep in the society. They do not fit in the society because their ways and means are different. Where everyone is false, the real is going to be real is not going to be convenient. A real child will be in basic difficulties with the society because the whole society is unreal and living that life. This is a vicious circle. We are born in a society, and for that matter, not a single society has existed on earth which is real. This is a vicious circle. The child is born as a part of the society, as a part of the family. The child is born innocent, nothing is written, but we condition him to be a Hindu, Muslim or Christian. We do not give him an opportunity to decide on his own what path do you want to follow. When he will grow, he will become false. Then children will be born to him and he will make them false again, because this is the tradition. And this goes on and on. What to do? We cannot change the society. Or if we try to change the society, we will not be there when the society changes. It will take eternity of time. What to do? Individual can become aware of this split within. The purpose of the spiritual understanding and the company of the master is to become aware of this inner conflict. The real has been suppressed and the unreal is being imposed. This is pain, this is suffering, this is conflict, this is chaos. It is hell. You cannot get any fulfillment through the unreal, because through the unreal, only unreal satisfactions are possible. This is natural. Only through the real can happen the bliss. Through the real you can reach the reality. You can reach the cosmos beyond conflict. If there comes a thought process when you are making love, the energy's flow will stop. That situation of oneness will not happen. And the bliss, that is the illumination that has to happen when the masculine and the feminine poles merge into one another and there is an orgasm, it will not happen. There will be no, through the unreal you cannot reach the real. The more hallucination, illusions, more dreams will happen, and you can go on deceiving yourself, but you'll never be fulfilled. For example, in a dream, you feel you are thirsty. You may dream you are drinking water. This will be helpful and convenient if the sleep continues. If this dream, where you dream that you are drinking water, is not there, your sleep will be broken. The real thirst is there. It will break the sleep. The sleep will be disturbed. Dream is a help. It gives you a feeling that you are drinking water, but the water that you drink in the dream is false. Your thirst is simply deceived, false, and your thirst is simply deceived. It is not removed. You may continue to sleep, but the thirst is there, suppressed. This is happening not only in sleep, in your whole life is a saga of it. You are searching for things through the unreal personality, unreal life, which are not there, which are just a mask, a facade. If you do not get them, you will be in misery, you will be in conflict. And if you get them, still you will be in misery. If you do not get them, the misery will be less. If you get them, the misery will go deeper into you. We will continue on this because this needs a little more explanation in tomorrow's session. Until then, take care and do have a pleasant day.